Welcome to chapter 4 of the book of Joshua. They are, children of Israel are at the Jordan River crossing over in this chapter. And it begins, and when all the people completed passing over the Jordan, that the Lord spoke to soon, saying, again, Jesus and Joshua, Jesus, same in the Greek, soon in the accusative when it's the object. He spoke to Joshua, or within the dative indirect object, which it would be here, both are soon. So basically, the rest of this chapter is all about them crossing. So it goes afterwards. They completed it, but then it goes into the beginning, how they did it, across the river. So it says, God says, taking 12 men from the people, one man from each tribe, give orders to them. So this is what we read about in the last chapter, where it had these 12 men that they were choosing, and we didn't exactly know what for. But now they are, it says, saying, take up to yourselves from here, from out of the midst of the Jordan, from the station of the feet of the priests, 12 prepared stones. So exactly these stones, so at the feet of the priest, it says they were prepared. Well, generally that means that they were dressed stones, but it could mean that they were just prepared for that purpose, where the priests picked the stones up and put them there. I'm not exactly sure. But anyway, it says in these, the stones, and carrying them across together with you, put them in your military encampment, wherever you should camp there by night. Now, these stones are going to go into the military encampment and then be set up on the other side of the Jordan River. And there's another 12 stones that will stay in the river. We'll see here in a little bit. In the book of Revelation, the 12 stones, the only place that's close to that would be in the New Jerusalem. And the stones are the apostles, which were Jews, and it wouldn't be, I don't think, no, the brothers would be the same. I was thinking it would be interesting if they were all 12 men from 12 different tribes, but they were brothers, so that couldn't be. But they are the 12 stones that the wall was built upon, and there's gatehouses. The 12 gatehouses are the 12 tribes. So here, to take these stones, and Joshua calling by name, or Jesus calling by name, 12 men, dodeca, duo, for the do, shortened form. A duo is a two, a pair, and deca, a decade, a word for 10 years. So dodeca, 12 men of the honorable ones from the sons of Israel. So he called them, one man from each tribe. Joshua said to them, lead forward before the presence of the Lord your God into the midst of the Jordan. So off they go into the midst of the Jordan. And by taking up, lift away from there each one stone upon his shoulders, according to the number of the tribes of Israel. That would be 12. So these are probably very strong men and pretty good sized stones, maybe 100 pounds or more. Could be more. And the reason is that these should exist to you for a sign. Simeon, a semaphore, is a sign for railroads and telegraphy and so forth. They should exist to you for signs, being situated always, that whenever your son should ask you tomorrow, saying, what are these stones to you? So they will see these pile of these 12 stones at the Jordan, and hopefully their sons would ask what these stones are. And you shall make manifest to your son, saying that the Jordan River ceased from in front of the ark of the covenant of the Lord of all the earth, as it passed over the Jordan. And the water of the Jordan ceased, So we read about that in the last chapter, how that piled up when they went across and the Levites went into it. And these stones shall be to you a memorial to the sons of Israel unto the eon. But I don't think they're around today. Don't know what happened to them. But this was to be a memorial place that they could go and remember what God did at the Jordan. And the sons of Israel did insofar as the Lord gave charge to Esau. Now, I'm not sure. This is in the genitive. I would think it would be Esau here. I have to check that out. Maybe I'll put a red mark here. Annotate. And then we'll go over here with the red and put it there. And then, pretty neat program, PDF expert. And taking 12 stones from out of the midst of the Jordan, just as the Lord, the mesu, a mesoderm, meso is in the middle. Mesoderm is the middle layer in your skin. From the midst of the Jordan, just as the Lord gave orders to Esau. Well, and again, to Esau. So the genitive and the accusative, I guess the dative, all three, except for the ones that would be Esau's is in the nominative. We'll get that down here. So just as the Lord gave orders to Esau in the completion of the fording of the sons of Israel, that they carried them across together themselves into the camp, military camp, and put them aside there. So now we've got the people going across and the 12 stones from these 12 tribes of the strong men carrying across and setting up the memorial. And Esau's set. So here is the nominative, Esau's, Jesus, Joshua, set. Also another dodecalithus, lithography, writing on a hard surface. Another 12 stones in the Jordan itself, and set them in the place being under the feet of the priests, lifting the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord. So apparently the priests were going out there, it dried up, the Jordan stopped, and they watched all the people go across. They picked up the stones as far as the 12 men did, and now they've taken these other 12 stones and put them by the feet of the priests with lifting the Ark of the Covenant. And it says, and they are there until today's day. Of course, the river went back, so they're under the water someplace in the Jordan River, close to Jericho. I wonder if anybody's ever searched for them. And the priests stood, the ones lifting the Ark of the Covenant, in, I have the, because it should be italicized, the midst of the Jordan, until of which he completed all the words which the Lord gave charge to Esau to announce to the people according to all, as much as Moses gave charge to Esau. And the people hastened to pass and passed over, and it came to pass, as all the people completed to pass over, that the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord passed over, and the priests in front of them. The front of the Ark, I'm not exactly it sounded like, well, they can change position. That's the whole thing. They can start off at the beginning in the front of them, and then when they all go over, watch them, and then come back. But it says in the front of them. So, and there passed over the sons of Reuben and the sons of Gad, and the half tribe of Manasseh. So, sounds like this is going back to the beginning, where it mentions now the sons of Reuben, Gad, and the half tribe of Manasseh, which were these three tribes that were given land on the eastern side of the Jordan River, and that's all in Numbers 32. You can read all about how these people wanted that land because it was good for them to raise cattle, but how Moses was upset thinking they were leaving the tribes, but they made a bargain and said that, if we get to come back, then they have this land, we will be the first ones to cross over the Jordan and fight until they have captured all the land. So here it shows that these three tribes went at the beginning. It says, being equipped in front of the sons of Israel. That means they are ready for war. They're equipped. Just as Moses gave charge to them in Numbers 32. 40,000 well-equipped for battle passed over before the Lord for war against Jericho, the city. That's a lot of people, 40,000 people coming against your city. In that day the Lord increased ease soon. See, now here it's in the accusative, ease soon. Before all of Israel, made him, people knew that he was in charge. And they feared him, as they feared Moses, as much time as he lived. And the Lord spoke to Esau, saying, give charge to the priests, lifting the ark of the covenant of the testimony, to go up from out of the Jordan. And so apparently, to me, they stayed in there while all these people were crossing. And Esau soon gave charge to the priests, saying, go up from out of the Jordan. And it came to pass, as the priests went up, the ones lifting the ark of the covenant of the Lord, from out of the midst of the Jordan, that the priests put the feet upon the dry land. And I have that's italicized. It could be dry skin, almost anything dry. And the water of the Jordan advanced according to its place, and went as also yesterday and the third day before, went back to normal, through all its bank. And the people ascended from out of the Jordan on the 10th of the first month. And the sons of Israel bivouacked, that's a military term, for camping, in Gilgal. Now, the Jordan River was, of course, where John the Immerser was immersing people, and Jesus came and was immersed in the Jordan River, a very important river. It flows from the Sea of Galilee all the way down to the Dead Sea, and in the holy city that will be on Mount Meron, the last 10 chapters of the book of Ezekiel, the water there flows from the temple eastward towards the Lake of Galilee, and then it mentions then the water will go down to the Dead Sea, and wherever it hits the Dead Sea, this fresh water from the temple will bring life to the Dead Sea, and there'll be fishermen there fishing, and so forth. So a lot's going to still happen with the Jordan River, so the sons of Israel went across and bivouacked according to the part towards the sun rising by Jericho. Now in Galgalis, well, I have them go back to our map up here. So we can see here on this map, they have Galgal right here along the Jordan River, and they left from Sittim and crossed over. And these 12 stones, which he took from out of the Jordan, Esau set up in Galgalis. So this is where that monument was for the 12 stones. And he spoke to the sons of Israel, saying, whenever your sons ask you tomorrow, saying, what are these stones? You announce to your sons, saying, that Israel passed over this Jordan upon dry ground. A repeat of earlier. The Lord our God caused, 3, 4, the water of the Jordan to dry up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. To dry up from in front of them, until of which they passed over, just as the Lord our God did to the Red Sea, which we read about in right when the sons of Israel left Egypt, they went to the Red Sea. Until we went by, so that all the nations of the earth might know that the power of the Lord is strong, and that you should worship the Lord our God at all time. Now here is the correct usage for worship. Saviste, 4576. Now, the King James translators translated another word called proskenevo, and that is number 4352. They transferred it into worship. But proskenevo, every place it appears in the Bible, is the people doing obeisance, that is on the ground in front of a higher authority, whether it be the head of a family or a general or a head of a city, a mayor type person, or God, so forth, emperor. Then you get down on the ground in front of them, bow and touch the ground. That is proskenevo. That is what the King James changed into worship. And you think about the worship service, well, it has nothing to do with it. It's just nothing but getting down on the ground, doing obeisance to a higher authority. So it's not anything to do with playing music or musical instruments. But here, worshiping, it doesn't say anything about musical instruments, but this is a true word for worship that I have used. The only place I believe is 4576, so that you should worship the Lord God at all time. So now they're across the river, and we'll find out what happens when they get across the river, who comes against them, and so forth. Till our next video seminar in chapter 5. I hope you'll join it. And until then, God bless.